Attention, class.
It's time for a little blood.
Time's up. Let's do this.
Hello there, ladies, gentlemen, and everyone in between. Tactical Bacon 00 here, bringing you a Hearthstone deck tutorial. The deck that we're going to be taking a look at today is called the Shockadin deck. It is brought to you by the user known as Holy Rock. Now, the Shockadin deck is a deck that I recently discovered, and it is extremely powerful. It is moderately inexpensive, and it is fairly easy to use. And when I say moderately inexpensive, I mean for someone that has at least a Leroy Jenkins and some dust and is ready to craft a few things. There are a lot of commons in here, there are a lot of basic cards. There are a few rare cards such as Equality and Cold Light Oracle. We also have the legendary Leroy Jenkins. That might be the only thing that holds you back. But there is a substitution for Leroy. Leroy is not necessary. He is just a nice shiny card on top. Avenging Wrath is one of those things that really ties this deck together. You are going to need two of those because of how powerful this card is. Alright, let's get into it. Let's talk about how this deck works. This is an aggro or a rush deck. The point is to get a lot of cheap minions out on the board and crush your opponent as quickly as possible before they have a chance to ramp up. Blessing of Might, good card at any point in the game, mostly late game for that final rushdown, gives minion +3 attack, all around pretty good card. Abusive Sergeant, not a 1-drop. There's a difference between a 1-cost and a 1-drop. A 1-drop, such as the Argent Squire, has a Divine Shield and will last 1 turn at least, or at least get pretty good value. The Abusive Sergeant, in order to get that Battle Cry, you would not want to drop that on turn 1. So, the Argent Squire is a 1-drop that costs 1. The Abusive Sergeant is not a 1-drop that costs 1. The Elven Archer, obviously, if you want to get that Battle Cry and have it be useful, you're going to want to wait a little while to see if it can kill a 1-cost or a 1-health creature. Leper Gnome is a very good 1-drop if you are, say, facing a, let's say a Druid and they shapeshift. In order to crush this Leper Gnome, they will take at least 4 damage to the face. The Leper Gnome is also a 2-1 for 1 cost. It's pretty weak, but it does get that damage out there if they don't take care of it right away. Worgen Infiltrator, another very good card. That is definitely a 1-drop. You can put it down on turn 1, and unless they pull some really strange shenanigans, such as Arcane Missiles or something like that, it will survive till turn 2. Worgen Infiltrator, very good card. Equality is very good for late game board clear. It is also very good at handling things like Miracle Rogue or Handlock decks. Changes the health of all creatures, or sorry, all minions to 1 health, which means that your Elven Archer can do damage, your Bluegill Warrior, basically anything that you have in your hand is either 1 or 2 health. So chances are that Equality is really going to help you and get you at least a 1-for-1 trade. Bluegill Warrior, that's charge. I wouldn't really say that would be good for a 2-drop. I would probably wait until there's something bigger on the board. You could possibly buff it with an Abusive Sergeant, get it to be a 4-1, maybe clear out a taunt, do something easy like that. Also very good for final burst damage. Ironbeak Owl is to get past those taunts or through something that buffs on, say, having a lot of cards in your deck when you put it out and you're facing a 4-9 Drake or something like that. Ironbeak Owl breaks through that and can make things a lot easier. Loot Hoarder is simply card draw, easily a 1-drop. You want that card draw early in the game. Divine Favor is really good. Because of the way the mana curve is in this deck, you've got a lot of 1 and 2 cost minions and spells. So once you burn through all of those, you Divine Favor, and then you have the same number of cards as your opponent. That works very well against Handlock because they will try to have 8 to 10 cards in their hand at all times. The Divine Favor will also put you there and only cost you 3 mana. Pretty good card. Very good for when you throw down a bunch of stuff and then also want to get those cards back. Cold Light Oracle, once again more card draw. 2/2 for 3, not too great, but of course it does give you card draw. It gives them card draw, so it also combos nicely with Divine Favor. Wolf Rider, there's some more burst damage. That is also good at breaking through taunts and just bursting damage. True Silver Champion. That is some very light healing. It is also very good at breaking through taunts and killing anything that has 4 health or less. The True Silver Champion is a very good... I would say it helps to deal with the larger creatures that you'll be facing. Well, the larger stuff on the board will be taken care of easily by a True Silver Champion. Even more so if you have Equality True Silver, something like that combo. The True Silver is a very good weapon to have. Consecration deals 2 damage to all enemies. Combos extremely well with Equality. Let's say you change everyone's health to 1. Consecrate, that's a board clear. Total freaking board clear. Consecrate is very powerful when combined with Equality, or just on its own. Hammer of Wrath, there's some direct damage. Great for finishing off, great for clearing past taunts, great for dealing damage, and great for pulling cards. Hammer of Wrath is a good card. Leroy Jenkins, more burst damage. This is a rush deck. We're trying to rush. Leroy is not required. However, I believe the Argent Commander is a fairly competent replacement for Leroy Jenkins. It does cost more, it has less health, but it does also have a Divine Shield. The Argent Commander is what I would consider as a budget replacement for a Leroy Jenkins. Alright, what else you have? You have Avenging Wrath. Deals 8 damage, randomly split among enemy characters. Once again, when you combine this with Equality, you have another board clear. If there is nothing on the enemy's board, Avenging Wrath is just 8 damage to the enemy hero's face. That is also great for final burst damage. Leroy Jenkins, Avenging Wrath. The Avenging Wrath will take care of the whelps that Leroy summons. Very, very good stuff. Alright, so some weaknesses that this deck does have are, I would say, other rush decks. Definitely control decks. Control decks are somewhat strong against this. But yeah, I would say overall I've got about a 70% win rate with this. At rank 13, I believe I am. This is the end of Season 3, I am rank 13 currently. I've been playing off and on a little bit. So, without any further ado, let's go into some casual. Try this deck out. Let's go!
Hit it very hard.
Instruction begins!
Let the battle begin! Uther versus Garrosh.
Alright, we are going up against a warrior.
I will fight.
Let's see, what would be a good thing to go up with against a warrior? Let's see how many cards he's throwing away. He threw away 1 card. That means we're going to want to have a 1-drop, which means all these are terrible. We're going to toss the whole thing. We definitely want to have something on the board to deal with whatever he's about to throw down. Leper Gnome, a very good choice, and a Leper Gnome, also a very good choice. So turns 1 through 3, you're going to want to focus on getting as much out on the board as possible. You want to make sure that you are hammering him as hard as you can in the early game. Fiery War Axe, so that is 2 to the face and then another 2 with the Death Rattle. The Leper Gnome did his job correctly. He did 4 damage, cost 1. Fantastic. We're Argent Squiring, Leper Gnome. Like I said, got to get that stuff on the board. That is quite a bit of damage waiting for him. My guess is that he is going to armor up and then smack the Leper Gnome in the face again, taking yet another 4 damage. Although something else could happen. That has charge, he is going to take out the Leper Gnome. Interesting. Okay. That was an interesting play that he just did there. Anyways, Elven Archer. Like I said, control his board, keep that down. Go for his face, rush him down. We have board control, better health. Not as many cards though. So we're going to see how that works. Acolyte of Pain, we are going to want to deal with that as soon as possible. Unless we want him to have lots of cards. I just pulled a Divine Favor, which means
I fight. I'll give it a shot.
I'm going to want him to have as many cards as possible. So yes, he gets all of those cards, and then I also get a lot of cards back as well. Not going to play the Abusive Sergeant because I don't have anything to play it against. I don't have anything that can be buffed by its battle cry. That will be safe for next turn. Equip a 2/2 weapon. I'm guessing he's going to go for the 1/1. Yes. He does want that control. I don't blame him. I don't blame him. We have the Hammer of Wrath. That will take care of the 3/3. Do I have anything else that could be put on the board? No. We also have a Wolf Rider. I think I'm going to Wolf Rider and then Abusive Sergeant, going for his face. Or, no. I don't want to put too many cards into that one Wolf Rider. That would just be silly. As you can see, we are definitely rushing him down effectively.
Armor made to fit.
Armorsmith, definitely need to take care of that. That's whenever a friendly minion at all takes damage, gains 1 armor. Ouch. I knew that Wolf Rider was going to die, that happens. We got the True Silver Champion, which is a good thing. I'm going to go ahead and play that. Clear out the Armorsmith. Deal with that as much as I can. Heal up 1. Because that True Silver is a great, great weapon. We're now getting into a bit of the later game. Haven't pulled an Equality or Consecrate, and I'm missing some of my beefier creatures. We got an Arcanite Reaper. All right. Really could use a Consecrate right about now. It's not happening. Let's see, so I do have access to my Avenging Wrath. That will probably clear his board. I'm not ready for that rush down yet, though. So I am going to Hammer of Wrath the 4/3. Gonna see what card I can pull. Equality. Excellent. That can definitely be used later. I'm also going to... Should I Cold Light Oracle? I think I'll Cold Light Oracle. Let's see if I can pull anything useful. And another Hammer of Wrath. I'm going to save the other True Silver Swing for next turn in case he puts something down. At this point, he is ahead. I just need to make sure that I can stay ahead of him with the damage rush. Alright. He's got me down really, really far. This is not good. But let's see. I have Avenging Wrath. That would deal 8 damage split among enemy characters. Give minion +2. +3, which would be 7, +4, which is 11. Do I have lethal? I don't believe I do. Does he have lethal? He could very well have lethal. I need to mitigate that chance as much as possible. Draw a card. What is it? What's my card? Divine Favor. Not the card that I wanted right now. I do need to make sure that he gets taken down fast.
Get in there and fight, maggot!
This is where I buff everything as much as I can. Hit him, heal up to 8. And now I do have lethal next turn. If you don't see it, this is 8 damage. That one card could do it to his face if he doesn't clear my board. He needs to take me out this turn. I could also do the Equality Avenging Wrath combo. That would still take him out. Arcanite Reaper. And that's lethal for him. I was very close. If he did not have that, that would have been very close. He was playing control deck. Control Warrior is fairly common. But you can see how if he did not have that specific set of cards, it would have been perfect. Let's do one more. I find that just playing one game is not really good enough to see how the deck can function, especially if you lose that game.
Uther versus Valera.
Alright, so we're going up against a rogue. We
I
are
will
going
fight
first.
with honor.
How many cards are they throwing away? Let's watch. And watching their hand. Threw away one card. That's not a good sign. I'm going to keep the Loot Hoarder, the Elven Archer. Elven Archer dies really easily. I'm going to keep the Elven Archer. I'm not going to drop it on turn 1. That's just not something that I'm going to do.
Well met.
Kind of a terrible starting hand. I do have the Loot Hoarder. That'll be good for turn 2.
The pleasure is mine.
Hopefully this rogue drops a 1 health creature. No! Nothing going down. Alright. Well, I'm going to go ahead and Loot Hoarder.
If I roll knee.
I'm fairly certain that that's going to get stabbed. I'm okay with that. It gives me card draw. Card draw is what we are really looking for here. Shiv. Okay. So if this rogue is playing Shiv this early in the game, I'm not sure that that would indicate that it's a miracle rogue. It could still be, however. So I'm just going to drop a Silverhand Recruit. And nothing else. I'm going to wait for the rogue to reveal what their plan is before I put too much pressure on. So that's the dagger. We have either a lot of high cost cards in that deck or Golden Sinister Strike. Okay, this is either a very dumb Miracle Rogue or not a Miracle Rogue. So, what I'm going to say is... Rogues do have a lot of direct removal. I do need to keep that in mind. I'm going to True Silver Champion. And I'm going to hold on to that swing. Especially with the Gadgetzan Auctioneer possible this turn, I want to be able to remove that right away. There's a lot of possibility for the Gadgetzan to do some serious damage to me, and I want to mitigate that as much as possible. Another Shiv. That's very strange for a rogue to be playing like this. Typically those really cheap spells are used in combination with the Gadgetzan Auctioneer to give a ton of card draw. This is not happening right now. So I'm going to assume
The light protects me.
that it is safe to start swinging the big stuff. Elven Archer, I'm gonna say not yet.
For justice.
Next turn, if the Argent Squire still has the Divine Shield, I will throw down the Blessing of Might on there, creating a 4/1 with the Divine Shield. Essentially a... what is that? The, Scarlet Crusader. Sorry. My index of cards in my brain is not working right now. Fan of Knives, that pops the Divine Shield. I'm guessing swing for my 1/1. And then refresh your knife. Yeah. That's what's gonna happen. Or do you have a different plan? There it is. You can already call what's happening here. So no Gadget Sand Auctioneer. I'm very disappointed. Leper Gnome, sure. Put down one of these. Right now I'm just trying to put stuff on the board. I still want to keep that that True Silver ready to go, just in case. So I'm not going to swing. Elven Archer is good removal, especially now that I have Equality. I'm not going to use that. If my stuff does survive, if one thing survives, I'm throwing Blessing of Might on it, so I can rush even harder. This is starting to get into the late game, which means I need a lot more stuff. I need things like my Abusive Sergeant. I need my Worgen Infiltrators. I definitely need my freaking Bluegill Warriors, my Wolf Riders, Cold Light Oracle. I need all that stuff ready to go. It's just not happening. Come on, don't be scared. Are you seriously going to waste all of that mana? You are. Oh my gosh, you are. Fantastic. Okay, Deadly Poison. There we go. I'm okay with that. 3/2 weapon, not too shabby. It's gonna go to waste. Oh man, my Iron Beak. I really need some card draw right now. So... deal 3 damage to the face. Give me a card. Alright, we got an Abusive Sergeant. That's good.
One shot,
Chances are pretty high that this rogue is not going to want to swing for a 1/1 with that Deadly Poisoned Knife. Because that's kind of a waste. That's a waste of so much damage. Why would you do that? The rogue is going to swing for my face. Very clearly. That I would have to say is a mistake. I am going to Blessing of Might. I am going to Abusive Sergeant. And if this rogue puts something down on the board, it's going to be even better. Reckless Rocketeer. Excellent target. Trying to rush me down. Oh, Shadow Step. Alright. Well, in that case... do I have lethal? I have 8 damage with Avenging Wrath. I also have +2, 3... that'd be 11. +3, +4. I have 14. Yeah, I win. Wait, which one? Okay. And that one.
I'll give it a shot.
And I win. So yeah, not too much planning required ahead. You need to know what you have in your deck. And yeah, as long as you can control the board and make sure that you focus on hitting the face, you will succeed with this deck. Alright, thank you everyone so much for watching. This has been me, Tactical Bacon 00, doing my tutorial for the Shockadin deck. Thank you so much for watching. Look forward to more Hearthstone deck tutorials in the future. Hit that follow button, hit that subscribe button, leave me a comment, let me know what you thought. If you want to see any particular deck, let me know. I have most of the cards. There are a few legendaries that I'm missing. There are a few class-specific cards that I'm missing. I do have, I would say, most of the cards in Hearthstone. Missing a few dragons. Who cares about dragons? Anyways, thank you so much. I'll see you next time. Bacon. Out.
Job's done.